just have one more step and we'll be there. All right, right now we're just moving it on to different groups within Facebook. Palmerton Proud, Albrightsville, Weatherly, Packard Township, Penn Forest, Carbon County Today. Let me make sure we got them all that we subscribe to here. All right, Dave, we're turning it over to you all there.
Okay. Terry, Tom's not with us.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order.
You like that call?
We'll pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God.
One nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right, the first order of business is to look at the minutes and approve those. Everybody have the minutes?
Yep.
Okay. Take a couple minutes and go through them, see if you have any questions, any changes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next is vouchers.
Okay, for the month of November, you should have the 2 expense reports for November totaling $34,120.90.
Any questions or comments about the vouchers?
No.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the vouchers, pay all bills.
I'll make a motion.
I'll
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. All right. Next is park security. Do you have
Commissioner,
anything, Dave?
I have next is Commissioner.
Yeah, Dave, I would say.
Commissioner Lukasiewicz.
Yeah, Dave, I have 2 things. One will be one comment at the very end before we conclude the meeting. But the only thing I would ask is to ensure that we are 2 things. One, provided an update on the pavilion when we speak to that. And there were some requests from the public in regards to next season for the Parks and Recreation Commission, one, to consider a Carbon County resident only day, 1 day a week throughout the swim season, and additionally sought a request for consideration of a Carbon County weekend, in that there would be limitations placed on certain activity opportunities within the park to Carbon County residents. And the only detail I'll provide that was floated was the idea of something like that being considered for the first weekend after Labor Day, so as not to take away from any financial or revenue impact or any other limitation on access through the park. So I just throw that out there as public comment that has come in to this office. And I would ask that, in January and February, once all the new board members or new board member is on board, that those conversations take place, and then we'll respond back to the public and the commissioners with any recommendations that you all may have. That's all I have.
I have a comment about that. The second weekend, the weekend after Labor Day is usually when they have the safety fair. So they have to consider that if they're going to do that. It was canceled this year, but if it's going to happen next year, that might be a conflict.
Was that one wasn't the safety day in May, not in Labor Day?
I thought it was in September, but I might be wrong.
The safety day is usually the first, I believe it's the first Saturday in May.
Okay, I'm wrong then. Okay.
The festival, the Heritage Festival is usually, it's the second weekend after Labor Day. I think next year, it's the 17th and 18th. Now,
okay.
I know that the Lenape Nation was planning on doing a powwow festival the weekend of, it would be the first weekend after Labor Day. Now, we didn't.
I knew there was something going on that weekend. Well, you can talk about that in January when you're doing the calendar.
Yeah, yep.
Yep. So it was one day a week, Chris, is what the input that you were receiving?
Yeah, it was, 1 day a week.
Day a week. For the swimming area, and then it would be a weekend after Labor Day, something for county resident only.
Right. Yeah, Dave. And what I think they were looking at, and the way it was described to me, they were looking for something similar to what you all executed this summer. So really, it was, the swimming area was quote unquote restricted. However, it would emulate really what we had in place over the summer, whereas those who are camping, renting pavilions, or season pass holders, plus county residents, 1 day a week. And I did tell them that, my suggestion would be, and I know you guys will already think about that, looking about, one, is it feasible? And, how could or might it impact financially based upon, high volume days, low volume days, things of that nature.
It would most likely have to be a day during the week if we could do it at all.
Absolutely.
Okay, anything else, Commissioner?
No, sir. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, now park security. Anything going on, Dave?
Okay, under park operations, first I have is an update on the boating facilities grant, and that was submitted. It was approved by the county at their the commissioners meeting of December 3rd. The county did approve submission of the grant. It was mailed out this past Wednesday, actually, on the 9th of December. The county has agreed to provide a 50% cash match towards the overall project expenses. The county would be providing $155,500, and then the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission will be providing the same amount, the other 50%, $155,500 towards the project cost for new restrooms, which we're looking at the CXT Rocky Mountain double vault restroom, and also paving and resurfacing of the parking area and a section of the main road there at Boat Launch B. So again, that was approved at the county commissioners meeting of December 3rd, and it was mailed out this past Wednesday on the 9th. Deadline was December 30th, for the grant application. If the county is awarded funding, the county would need to enter into an extension of the current lease agreement that the county has for the operations and maintenance of the property. The current lease agreement is due to expire on December 31st, 2025. So the funding would require an extension of that agreement. Any questions on the boating facility grant?
No, it's great to get grant money, though. That's great.
No.
Okay, the 2021 budget, proposed budget, you'll find on the county website. We had requested a new riding mower for the maintenance staff. The riding mower that we have has gotten to the point where a lot of times it needs to be fixed or repaired. It's just hasn't been reliable. So we did request funding for a new riding mower, as well as a UTV. Utility vehicle where we could gain access some of the hard to reach areas on the trails where the guys could get in there with chainsaws and tools to help manage and maintain the trails. We did request funding for additional switchback trail improvements, and also another big item was we needed a computer server here for the park office for the network and the reservation system. And again, the proposed budget, you'll find that on I'll link to that on the county website.
Okay. Anybody have any
2021
questions?
meeting dates.
I'm sorry.
2021 meeting dates. Again, meetings will be held the second Friday of the month at 10 a.m. It would be January 8th, February 12th, March 12th, April 9th, May 14th, June 11th, July 11th, August 13th, September 10th, October 8th, November 12th, and December 10th. Meetings will be held here at the park office, hopefully, depending on the pandemic, at 10 a.m., second Friday of the month. Any questions on the meeting dates?
No, not for me.
No.
No, I'm good, Dave.
Okay. Park maintenance. Yeah, Chris, I did have the first item here under park maintenance was the pavilion roof update. That will be finished today. They'll have it wrapped up today.
Right.
I know it did take some to get it fixed. It was kind of on again, off again. We lost the last week in October for shutting down the park and winterizing the buildings. We lost some days due to the weather. Most recently, this past Wednesday, we lost a day there. We lost some days back in October too when it rained. and they replaced the beams underneath. I think, the more they were looking at it, the more they realized that there was additional, they felt that we needed to replace some of those support beams underneath. Being we were replacing the roof, they felt, now is the time to do it and get it done. So there was some additional work put in there. It was built in 1984, actually, when I was out yesterday taking a look at the, what we needed to do to finish it up. There was a plaque in the kitchen area there where it was dedicated in 1984. So that will be completed today. We do have to replace the light pole out there yet for the area lighting for the parking lot. We had to take that down. It was ready to fall over. We also, the next thing we want to get moving on right away is the shoreline trail. Continue with the next section of shoreline trail that needs to be improved. I know Earl had questions on that in the past about the shoreline trail, so we're going to be looking at working our way now back towards the campgrounds. That's the next section that we're going to focus on as far as clearing and mainly replacing some of those walkways that are in there. And I also was looking into the as far as trail improvements. I have information here on the Pennsylvania Outdoor Corps. I found this, researched this. It's through DCNR, and DCNR's contracted vendor for the Pennsylvania Outdoor Corps is the Student Conservation Associates, and you could get them for, I think, 4 days, roughly a week. They have roving crews. Mainly, they're like 18 to 25-year-olds, and they have a crew leader, similar to how the PCC was organized. Which the PCC no longer is around. That program was closed. So it operates kind of similar to the Pennsylvania Conservation Corps. Big difference is you wouldn't have them here, for a full year. You would have them here for a week. There is a cost involved in it. It would cost the county roughly, I think, $2,400 to host the crew. But they seem to specialize in trail maintenance, and my thoughts would be to maybe have them come in for a week and work on the other side of the lake, the far shoreline, and try to get that cleared for the entire length of the lake. There's some requirements as far as hosting a crew. You do have to provide them with a place where they could cook. So also they'll either tent camp or they could sleep in a cabin, modern shower facilities. You would have to provide them with. So we would have the amenities on site where we would be able to host the crew. And we can maybe give them a pavilion for the for the week that they're here. You do have to provide like programs for them. So maybe through the Environmental Education Center, we'd be able to provide like a program for the crew on a Wednesday night or a Monday night. But we could give them either the group camping area, or if you have cabins available, might be able to give them a cabin for the stay here in exchange for the work that they're doing. And again, it would there is a cost to the for the services. It would cost roughly $2,400. I printed out sample agreements, and I was going to send that down for the commissioners to take a look at to see if we might be interested in trying to obtain a crew, maybe once a year for a week to come in and help with some of the trail maintenance. Does anybody have any objections to that?
Dave, this is Chris. Did you get any, in regards to that, did you get any feedback from the prison board?
I did, yeah. I have that on my list too.
Okay, all right.
Too, Chris.
Okay.
do we want to make a recommendation to send it down to the commissioners for review?
Well,
We won't be approving anything. It's to send it down for them to take a look at and see whether we would want to host a crew here for a week. It's probably going to be in the fall. I was talking with, his name is Mike from DCNR. We were planning on meeting on December 1st. He was going to come in and take a look at the park and the facility here to kind of get an idea of, you know, what we need to get done.
what would the specifics of the recommendation be?
Well, it's just to send the information down for, you know, for them to review and take a look at. I don't even know that we really need a recommendation for that. But I just, before I go ahead and do that, I wanted to know if it was okay with everybody.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Having worked with the Conservation Corps and stuff, that it was really a good program.
This is the type of program it seems to be, Earl. It's again, it's through the Student Conservation Associates Incorporated. They're the contracted vendor for DCNR, and it seems to operate the same way the Pennsylvania Conservation Corps used to operate. But you wouldn't have a crew for a full year. You would have them for, you know, for roughly a week.
Well, a week
I'll send that down then.
Well, certainly it's
Yeah.
worth looking into.
a week is better than nothing.
I'll send that down then for review.
Sure.
See if the
That sounds
county's
like,
interested in pursuing that.
Well, that-
Also, the work release program. Go ahead, Terry. I'm sorry.
that's okay. No, I was just saying, I don't think we need a motion for that. I mean, that's something for the commissioners to decide whether they approve or disapprove.
Okay.
I think the people who are present are in agreement with it should be looked into and presented to the commissioners.
Right. I'll send the agreements down for them to, you know, to take a look at.
Right.
Other maintenance needs. Now, we're going to work on the trail. That's the big thing we want to start working on next, is getting that next section of shoreline trail repaired. Obviously, that's weather permitting. If, you know, the ground is snow covered, you know, we're not really going to be able to work on those walkways if we get a lot of snow. So hopefully the weather cooperates. If not, there's plenty of work as far as, I mean, I know the cabins, there's a number of screen doors that we really should bring back to the shop and either repair them or replace them. The latches on the doors in the cabins, some of them have to get worked on. Missy's looking into windows and also the cranks. A couple of the side windows on the cabins, we're having difficulty. People are having difficulty opening and closing some of the windows. So there's a number of maintenance needs on the cabins that we could take a look at here during the off season. I know there was a request also to bring the lifeguard chairs back to the shop and kind of sand the lifeguard chairs down. It's been a while since we had done that. There's a number of sites out there that also really could use a new picnic table, as well as down at the beach area. Some of them in between the food stand and the bathrooms are getting, you know, they're at a point where they either need to be, you know, refurbished or replaced. And then also the work release program that Chris had mentioned, we did send a request to the prison board for use of the work release program. That was approved, and we're looking at in the spring getting the prisoners in. Now we would have to supervise the prisoners from what I understand, we would be responsible for supervision, which wouldn't be a problem with one or two prisoners. Some of the thoughts, the ideas that we have, we could put them to use cleaning the firings. There's 135 campsites out there, including 15 cabins, so we can go around with the tractor, and they could clean out the firings, and we can get all the firings cleaned. The hibachis and the picnic area, they need to get cleaned out, and at the base of the hibachis, the charcoal and ashes need to get cleaned up, as well as painting the main gate, the exit gate, the middle gate. So there's quite a bit that needs to get done where we could put them to good use to help us get the park ready for the season. And the transportation, I'm not sure whether we would have to provide for transportation, or if they would provide the transportation. I know in the past when we used the work release program, they did provide the transportation. They would drop them off in the morning, and then they would pick them up at 3 o'clock. So we have, the only thing that we have is the maintenance trucks. So I don't transportation could be an issue for us. Do you know if that was discussed, Chris, as far as transportation?
The specifics of managing it to include transportation was not discussed. I would highlight, though, Dave, that the county does have 2 minibuses available, not necessarily drivers, but we have, 2 of the former Carbon County Community Transit buses available. Those are normally used for the liquid fuel workers in the summer. So those 2 vehicles would be available in the spring.
Hello. I'd like to comment on the trail before we get too far. The trail maintenance.
Sure.
I know they're planning on repairing the bridges heading east. I was wondering, there's several boards that are, if you step on them, they are loose or missing. And I was wondering if we could do a day where we would skip ahead and just kind of make them boards safe before rebuilding the whole structure. In case we don't get that far, at least it would be safe. It's not that many boards, maybe about 10, that if we would re-screw them or just put a new board on there before they start replacing the whole structure, I think would be a good idea.
I'll mention that to Jack. Once they're finished the roof here, we can take a walk out there next week sometime and take a look to see where the boards are missing or need to be replaced.
Right, yeah, because actually it's pretty dangerous in certain areas. Most of the bridge is okay, but there is some boards that are, if you step on them, you're going to go through.
Right, so you're saying some of the walkways maybe don't necessarily have to be replaced completely, just repaired.
Well, it seems like there's a considerable amount there's more walkways going in that direction from, say, the sawmill parking area. I don't know if they would get that far over the winter, but I think they should skip ahead and make at least what is there safe. Because 80% of it is still okay, just a few loose boards that are a safety issue.
All right, I'll mention that to Jack. I'll meet with Jack on that.
And also on the roof, on the pavilion day, they did a beautiful job. But my concern was, I thought they were putting a shingle roof on when I looked at the progress, because I saw heavy 3/4 inch plywood and then tar paper and now metal roofing. Typically, and I don't know if that was a structural issue that they did that, but typically when you put a metal roof on, say a pole building or something, they would just put purlins across and screw the metal to it and forgo the tar paper and the plywood underneath. But it looks great, but I think it's, I don't know, in my opinion, it's really heavily built.
Are all the other pavilion roofs the same? Do they all have the plywood and the tar paper and then the metal roof on top, or just this one?
Well, they're all shingles, Terry.
Yeah, I thought so. This was the first metal roof we did.
Right, so you need plywood under shingles.
Sure, I know that, yeah. But
under metal roofing, you necessarily don't need the plywood unless it's to tie the structure all together to make it stable. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
Just trying to save some extra work for the future projects.
Right. It'd be nice if at some point we could replace all the pavilion roofs with metal roof because it's lasts forever.
Well, I think that's the direction and that we're headed. But I mean, as far as fireproof too, I mean, if an ember lands on a metal roof, it's going to go out.
Right.
Versus a shingle roof.
Earl, this is Chris. There's also a notable cost difference then once you add the plywood, mostly given the cost of lumber currently.
Oh yeah, it's almost unobtainable if you're using pressure treated. I know we have a hard time getting materials right now, but to put 3/4 plywood down, I guess, is very costly. I don't know if it's required. I know when we have pole buildings built, they just put purlins across, which are 2x4s, and screw the metal to it.
Right. Well, it's something to think about for the future when we have to replace other roofs, then you'll bring it up again.
I agree.
Okay, anything else on? Under park security, I just have our annual report here. I was taking a look at the citations, violations that we had. There was 21 citations were issued for park violations for the season. Number of them were for there was alcohol-related violations and some trash that was left in the fire rings. There was a couple instances of that. There was one instance, two instances actually, where they destroyed plant life, cut down saplings. So that we had two situations there. The fines ranged anywhere from $25 to $300, depending on the situation and the severity of the incident. And we did have one summary trial that we had to attend, and that individual was found guilty. He was found guilty for 3 violations of the park ordinance. One was solicitation, and the other one was resisting a park ranger. And then the third offense was personal conduct. So that we had that hearing in Weatherly at the Weatherly District Magistrate, and the individual was found guilty. 21 violations is about average, about an average year. Looked at last year in 2019, which was that was a down year, a slow year. We only had four violations, 4 situations last year. Thought last year would be a bad year because it didn't start out good. Memorial Day weekend, the first weekend, we had a situation where the individual was cited for hacking away at a tree, but yeah, overall 2019 was a good year for us. There was 4 violations. The year before, in 2018, we had 26 violations. So, looking at the years, this year 21 violations is about a typical average year. That's really all I had for security. Was the the final report here on the citations.
Do we have special activities requests?
Any questions? Okay, special activity is the polar plunge, submitted by Reverend Alan Hoffa on behalf of Marian Catholic High School for the 8th annual polar plunge. It's to be held on January 30th, 2021.
Okay. And they have all the insurance and everything they need?
They do have the proper insurance requirements, and they also have Fish and Boat Commission approval. The local waterways conservation officer approved the special activity agreement for the Fish and Boat Commission. I just read this morning that outdoor gatherings are now limited to 50 people. So they would have to adhere to state guidelines as far as size restrictions for outdoor events, and I'd recommend that that they follow any CDC guidelines as well.
Right. Okay, I would go with approving it based on what we have so far, but things are changing every day these days. So, at this point, I don't see any reason not to approve it because it's an outdoor activity and they're pretty well organized. We've not had any problems with them in the past. Anybody have any comment?
No, I agree with you, Terry, on that.
Okay. All right. Need a motion to approve special activity request for the polar bear plunge.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Approved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. Is there any correspondence? Dave?
No, we don't have any correspondence.
Okay.
The only thing I had to add, Terry, I'd like to, thank you for serving on the board here. I'd like to thank you for your service and dedication to the, helping us out here with the park.
You're most welcome. It was my pleasure. I've enjoyed being on the board.
Thank you, Terry. You're a true professional.
Oh, thank you, Earl. That's very kind of you. I've learned a lot.
Thank you, Terry.
You're most welcome. I've learned a lot from all of you. It's been a lot of fun and a growth experience for me. Thank you.
So Terry, and that would be my final comment on behalf of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners. We want to thank you, for your commitment to the park, and therefore, by default, to the residents of Carbon County and the visitors to Mock Chunk Lake Park, and clearly demonstrating, from what I've seen in the last year, a sincere interest in ensuring, a quality recreational experience. So on behalf of all the commissioners, thank you.
You're most welcome. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn if no one has anything else.
I'll make that motion, Terry.
Thank you,
I'll
Earl.
second it.
Thank you, Kevin. It's moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
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 I'll see you around the park, guys. Take care.
Bye, Terry.
Bye-bye.
All right,
Terry. Thank you again.
You're most welcome. Bye-bye now.